Oh boy, Jake Hadley taking on Cody Durden. And when you consider a fight like this, it's really, really weird for me. And why is it weird for me? Because Jake Hadley was originally supposed to be taking on the 12th ranked fighter in the flyweight division after finishing Malcolm Gordon. I mean, listen, way back when Roy Jones Jr. he knocked out Virgil Hill with a body shot. Y'all must have forgot. That was on the right-hand side. Jake Hadley did it on the left-hand side, like most people do when they want to attack that liver. And so Hadley gets that win. He's supposed to take on Ulanbekov, a ranked opponent. He doesn't get it. The fight is off. Cody Durden, on his Tapology page, is booked to take on Bruno Silva. I think it's in September. It is in September. And that fight falls out, so Durden accepts the short notice fight against Jake Hadley. This one was announced by Cody Durden, and it was announced back on July the 12th. So a little bit of short notice here for Durden. But if you look at both of these guys, Hadley, very good boxing. But where did his bread get buttered when he was an EFC champ? Where did Hadley's bread get buttered when he was a Cage Warriors champion? It was, if in doubt, wrestle. And that's going to be the interesting key in this one. And I see it over there in the chat. MPTV, Cody can wrestle, but then he doesn't know what to do next. Peter Shea saying American wrestling is better. Prince Vegeta's son, Craig, missed you, brother. Missed you as well, brother. But when you look at a fight like this, like for Durden, he went out there and put on a masterclass in game planning against one Charles Johnson his last time out. 11 takedowns on 18 attempts, 9 minutes and 33 seconds of control time. And I wanted to get the quotables because I remembered Cody Durden said some wild stuff after he beat Charles Johnson. The cardio looked much improved for Durden. He's on a 3-fight win streak, and I figured he would get a ranked opponent, and he called for a ranked opponent. And then he had a big shout out to American Top Team in Atlanta, Team Lima with Diego and Douglas Lima. So he's always been an ATT guy out of Atlanta. He has cross-trained a little bit down in South Florida. But Durden, throughout that UFC 148 Chael Sonnen quotable, he did the old, I'm ready for the ranked opponent. He didn't call anybody out. And then he said something about trombone and big stones or whatever it was. So good one there for Cody Durden. But ultimately for Durden, he either ragdolls you or you rally back and he accepts a lot of punishment. We've seen that from Durden so far in the UFC. And if you consider his UFC tenure, 4-2-1, he had that Jimmy Flick early finish loss, the triangle choke. He's called that guy out time and again. He did get finished by Makayev, but you look at all the wins and you even look at the decision that he had on really short notice up a weight class against leg kick king Chris Gutierrez. That's a draw. Arichi Long rallies back in the third round, but Durden did great work with his wrestling in the first and the second. JP Bays, he knocks him out. Carlos Mota, the former champ over with the LFA, he drubs him 30-27s. There was a 29-28. And then again, Charles Johnson. So when you do look at this one, I mean, Durden has that wrestling pedigree, but Jake Hadley's one of those guys. You've seen it out of him, and odds makers really heavily favored him when he made his UFC debut. Took on Alon Nascimento, and this is where you can kind of see the path for Cody Durden. Is Durden the most pressure-heavy or top pressure-heavy type of wrestler that you're ever going to see? Not necessarily, but for Jake Hadley taking on Alon Nascimento, roundabout a 2-1 favorite in that fight, loses it by decision. Nascimento had, 9 minutes and 27 seconds control time in that one. Put him in a pretzel, wasn't able to get the submission win in that one. Hadley rallies back, he beats Carlos Candelario, he beats Malcolm Gordon, and we're off to the races. So this fight should be an amazing one. Team Fearless out of the UK for White Kong. Don't like the nickname. Jake Hadley. He is, of course, a southpaw. Southpaw versus southpaw, a different look for a couple of these guys, but I think this is going to be an awesome fight. These two guys, Matt loves it, so if he's watching out there from Europe, hopefully he enjoys it. These two guys got that dog in them. They really do. So I think it's going to be an awesome fight. You can see the variety of finishes that these guys have as well. You like that. Durden's been submitted on 3 occasions in the pro career. And you can go back to the time that Cody Durden fought in boxing, kickboxing, and MMA all in the same night. The guy's an absolute wild man. And the man is, of course, an NFC vet. So when you do consider this one and you have a look, try and figure out who is favored to get the win in the matchup. It is the former EFC and the former Cage Warriors champ, Jake Hadley. And if we have a look at the Tapology votes, 1,745 total votes. 79% Hadley, 29% by decision, 50% by submission for the 21% that have Cody Durden to get the win. 83% by decision. Prince Vegeta's son, Cody Stamen versus Cody Durden. Well, I mean, Cody Stamen's a guy at 145 pounds now. I don't think those two guys are going to fight. Manny mentioning Hadley has 37% takedown defense in the UFC. As long as Cody doesn't get subbed, takedown all day. All right. If you're going to bring numbers up, you got to be able to explain them. He fought Mitch Raposo on Contender Series. Mitch went 2 of 3 on takedown attempts. He fought Alon Nascimento. He went 2 of 4 takedown attempts. He fought Carlos Candelario. He went 1 of 1. And he also fought Malcolm Gordon, who went 0-0. So, again, when you do consider the level of competition, kind of is what it is. And Durden's one of those guys that's going to get after it. We have a look at Matt's pick. Matt in this one going with the underdog, Cody Durden. The fans have Jake Hadley. Again, let me know who you have in the matchup in this one. I think this is going to be a really tough fight. I think Jake Hadley is going to cause problems for Cody Durden on the feet. And again, Durden's one of those guys with that motor. If he's able to get the takedown, it could be a very early night. If he's able to go back to it like he was his last time out against Charles Johnson, it could be a really, really hard night. So I'm eager to see what these two guys look like on Friday at weigh-ins. This could very well be a question mark kick, switch them up of the pick because it really is a close fight. But for now, going with White Kong, Jake Hadley, Matt going with Cody Durden in the matchup. We have some awesome fights on this card. The next one should not be buried on the prelims. The next one is Billy Quarantillo taking on Damon Jackson. You're not going to want to miss any of it. Keep it locked in with Fight Night Picks. We always say, let's get into it.